Well, good afternoon, everyone. Sheepdog Smokey here, and I'm still working on my planned series. I have almost as many books as I'd like. I don't ever like having one source on a subject. So I've got several books on U.S. history, on Texas history, on politics, and government, economics, and everything else. I do have a general timeline of what I will be looking at. When I was teaching U.S. history, yes, you did. We will discuss Ferdinand and Isabella and the expedition by Columbus to find the new passage to the Far East by going west, and his landing in the New World. He actually never did land in the U.S. area, he landed in Central America. That prompted more people sailing west for gold and other things. Amerigo Vespucci is actually where we get the name of this continent, as he was the cartographer who mapped it first. But other than just discussing those two things, it really picks up in the 1600s with Jamestown, landing at Plymouth Rock, and goes on from there with the harsh winter, the befriending of the local indigenous folk who helped them through the harsh winter and who were helped with some things by the settlers, prompting the first Thanksgiving feast. Granted, that would have been in spring, not November, but still. From Jamestown, there are things to cover because from the 1600s to 1771 or 2, you did have a steady ramping of British control, taxes being levied more and more, nothing being done with them that the colonists could see. Them seeing that they fled England to escape religious persecution, only for England to say, nope, you're still going to follow everything that we tell you to follow. Until the 1770s, starting with the Declaration of Independence. And those simple words, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for a people to sever ties, are so beautifully written. The long list of usurpations by the king and the response to the Declaration of Independence of sending his military. Sorry, I was outside, mosquitoes. But he sent his military, loyal to him alone, to disarm the colonists. Lexington and Concord, the shot heard round the world. The redcoats showed up and said, give up your guns, and we said, you can have them bullets first. We really don't know who shot first, but we know what it sparked. Bloody Revolution. It actually introduced a style of warfare not regularly seen. I don't know if they'd really seen it at all until then. Prior to the U.S. Revolution, the armies would line up in neat little rows and take turns firing at each other, and whoever was the last one standing, that side won. Of course, the officers would be well away from the fighting. It's actually where the term REMF. I'm not going to say what that means. If you're military, you know. If you're not, ask a military member what REMF is. It's actually where that comes from. Or specifically what I use it to refer to now. If you've seen the movie The Patriot, you know that General Cornwallis gets very upset that the colonists were actually not avoiding the officers when fighting. They were fighting guerrilla style. They weren't out in the open. They were ambushing their enemy, stealing their supplies, stealing their weapons, shooting at them from cover, until 1775 or 6, when Cornwallis surrendered, and the redcoats ran back to England. It actually brings up an interesting thing. The Midnight Ride of Paul Revere It has never been the British are coming. At that time, the colonists were British subjects. It would have been the regulars are coming, the regular army, or the red coats, because the colonists weren't wearing those. Sorry, tangent there. From there, we have the Continental Congress and the ultimate adoption of the Constitution, and then its first 10 amendments. We move forward, we have the War of 1812, Spanish-American War. We have Guadalcanal. I think it is Guadalcanal, not Guadalcanal. Cannot remember that battle. I'll have to look that up. I will look it up. I will have my timeline better by this time. But World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, we had the invasion of the Falkland Islands in the 80s, Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Operation Iraqi Freedom. So there is a lot of amazing information that is not being covered properly, at least, in public schools. I know because I was given the curriculum, and things like D-Day were supposed to be a mention in a lecture about World War II. D-Day itself is an entire 30 to 40 minute lecture for me, if not multiple lectures. You have Patton's Ghost Army. You have the bombing by air support. You have the bad air drop, which my great uncle was part of, and he passed away in France on 8 June 1944. Another great uncle stormed Normandy Beach, brought a bullet home in one of his legs from it. The bullet in the other leg he already had. He'd been to North Africa against the Desert Cat. So there's a lot to cover. So it will not be a short series, but I wanted to give an update on where I'm at. I am a bit of a perfectionist when it comes to this. I want all of my ducks in a row. Unfortunately, as you can see, visual aids are not going to be what they were when I was teaching. I don't want to do too many of the PowerPoint presentations with voiceover. I don't like those because you can't see my face. I might try to create them where I'm in another window, but I don't know. Primarily, I'm just going to do them where it's just me talking to you. I might even do some live where you can actually interact with me while I do it. That's why I'm making this. I want to know what are the topics you would like to dig into. I'm going to do the whole series, but I want to know what topics people are interested in, because I might do 2 or 3 videos on some of those. Really dig into the information. If you'd like the live stream where we can actually interact to a point, things like that. I hope to be started on this by summer. I don't know when I will not be working from home, but once that happens, this desk actually will be moved into storage. It was my grandmother's, actually. She passed away 33 years ago. I was 9. And I loved this desk. I always sat at it and colored if I could, or if she would have her sewing machine out, I'd be sitting by her, or I'd be watching TV with my grandpa, or at the park, or whatever. But this desk is very sentimental, so it's going back into storage when I'm not working from home, so that this can be turned into a home. Tape and bed is next, then texture, then paint, then floor, then turn that thing into an actual kitchen counter, then build cabinets and put up window coverings, so much more. I'm actually planning to not install a ceiling fan. I can rig a couple of box fans to circulate the air, and the air conditioner I'm going to be running is actually built for a room about 100 square feet larger than this, so I can keep the room cool without a ceiling fan. And what I'm hoping is to find a way to bring in like a green screen. I'm a techie. I literally grew up on tech. I was going to computer lab in kindergarten in 1982. So I want to learn how to have a green screen behind me and actually project something. You know, take a weekend and drive to Gettysburg or Lexington and Concord and just get video that I can roll behind me as I talk about something. Get a video from Gettysburg to roll behind me as I talk about the Gettysburg Address and the battle there. Video of the Lincoln Memorial and the National Mall and the Vietnam Memorial Wall as I talk about the Vietnam War and have it rolling behind me. It's going to take some learning. I'm going to definitely have to switch from OBS and iMovie to something else. But that's a new toy for me to learn how to play with, and I like that. I enjoy learning new stuff. So come on the journey. I will be starting the series as soon as I can, and I will post an announcement to my Twitter, my website, sheepdogsmoky.com, and here when I know when it's going to start. I want to make sure that I have enough material to do several videos. And this is when I'll get back to one a day for sure. Well, Monday through Friday. No class on weekends. Holidays I can't guarantee, but I'm going to have just one a day on this series. And I may have other videos I do where I want to discuss something that's going on, but those will launch afternoons. Class time will be 10 a.m. If anyone knows anyone who is good with video editing and such, animation or not, especially if they're on Fiverr, let me know who to look for. I would love to actually have an intro that is possibly two intros. One for my generic stuff, but one where it's like you have a hallway of a school and you hear a bell ring and then a logo pops up. I'm going to have to find someone to make me a logo. I am not artistic in any way. I can barely draw a crooked line when trying to draw one. So those things are coming as well. It is more professional, and I want to do that. But priorities, finish the house first. Then move on to buying new stuff, software, logos, video, so on and so forth. So until next time, school is not in session yet. I will be posting an update when I know when the first day of my history class is. Once I'm done with American history, I will be rolling into U.S. government and from there into economics. Going through the curriculum I would have taught had I been able to find a job as a teacher. From there, world history, Greece, Rome, Persia, ancient history. Going on from there, the sky is the limit. And I really hope I never run out of things to talk about. But we'll see. Leave me a comment. Let me know what topics in the social sciences you really want to dig into as deep as you can. Those will likely be on my curriculum that I'm working up and on my plans. And I'll know someone wants to really dig in, and that lets me know I can really dig deep on this because someone wants to see it. As always in the comments, be civil, folks. I understand, yeah, I'm going to get the weird comments from people who, I don't know why they always comment, can we be YouTube friends? I follow and subscribe to who I want to. You do the same. I'm never going to stop asking you to subscribe because it does help grow the channel. Ultimately, it could lead to this maybe being a more official gig. But I'm not going to tell you that you have to. I would just like it. I will say if you subscribe, you'll want notifications on. That way, other than the planned, scheduled stuff, when I post something, you'll know about it. I am doing the giveaway. 500, 1,000, 1,500 subscribers. At 500, you get a choice. Fahrenheit 451, Brave New World, or 1984. At 1,000, the winner gets 2 of those. At 1,500, all 3. And no, I'm not going to ask you for postage or anything. I will say, if you are international, you need to be able to read English, because mine are in English, although Huxley is definitely Old English. And international might take me a little bit longer to ship because postage is more expensive. To the US, flat rate postage, it's not going to cost much at all to ship you those books. And I want to give them away. The more people who read them, the better. So until then, please remember, like and share. It widens the conversation and it widens the channel. Please also subscribe and turn on notifications. And until next time, everyone, have a wonderful day.